Oh, there's Lyle sitting there all by himself.
Good evening. How you doing, Bruce?
I'm not doing too bad. How about yourself?
I'm doing fine.
Good.
Waiting for the sun to come out.
Yeah, it
I
might
won't
take,
hold, I won't hold my breath.
it may take a week. Yeah. Oh, my.
What are we going to talk about? That is our topic going to be records, just like vinyl records?
I guess so.
Oh, okay.
Oh, gee, maybe I should get one of my records. Yeah.
Trying to think if I have any neat ones, and I don't. Nothing comes to mind.
Okay, I'm all set.
I'm set too.
I guess we're a little early, aren't we?
Well, it's five whole minutes.
What are you doing, Pat?
Oh, I'm just playing with my record here.
Do you have a Victrola?
It's a Christian. It's a children's phonograph.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it a round record? The tube record?
78.
Or not? I mean, the.
Blue tail
Oh,
fly.
A
yeah.
picture. Wow.
Oh, that's cool.
I remember I got little records on cereal boxes when I was a kid.
Yeah, I wonder if
And-
anyone's going to bring any of those in and for display.
They didn't play too long. We just had that regular portable phonograph when I was a kid.
Well, it probably depends on the weight of the stylus on the record. Some of the more modern machines probably would have not been too harsh on it.
I think they just went right in there and cut them up. And they were just stamped on the cardboard of the cereal box.
Mhm.
I thought they were stamped in the finish on the cardboard. I've seen them, but I don't have any.
Yeah, I mean, they had a picture on them maybe and a vinyl, and it was so thin it wasn't funny.
Yeah.
They were you just played with them a little bit and then you had to go buy another box of cereal. They weren't intended, I'm sure, they weren't durable. You just got a sound out of them. And they didn't last too long, as I remember. So are you enjoying the rain?
Oh, what rain?
Well, I got rain over at my house. I know it's probably not raining anywhere else, but I got it all here.
Oh, no, it's not raining anywhere. Hell,
I know I got it all over here. It's just get out the fishing pole and the waders,
yeah.
see what you get. Or nothing else, you just tell people you went fishing.
Little Toot. Now, is that one from a cereal box?
No, this is just a 45 Peter Pan series.
Oh, okay.
That my wife had when she was a kid.
Oh, cool.
So Little Toot was a ship?
Yeah.
Or is it the tugboat?
Well, there's the big boat and there's a Little Toot.
Oh, I see. The Little Toot must have been the tugboat, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, big old freight liner and a tugboat.
Hey,
He knew he
Christian,
could. He knew he could.
Is this kind of what you're thinking of? This is Get More from your Kenmore. It's a 33 1/3 record. I think it's basically on a piece of cardboard, but it's got plastic.
That's it.
Just a
Yeah.
plastic film. They just laid a very filler biscuit. Well,
Used to get those in Mad Magazine occasionally, little paper ones.
Oh, we don't.
I can remember getting them from our church, and it was for the youth of our church to listen to.
I suspect the content was pretty different than what Mad Magazine put on them.
Hey, Blake, how are you feeling? I got a call from Stevan. He said that you weren't feeling too good, and I got a call from Mike, and he wasn't feeling too good either.
Yeah, Mike preceded me by about 3 days. And I'm feeling pretty crummy.
Well,
I'm
get
here.
well quick.
So is it COVID?
I think there's some likelihood of that, yeah.
Mhm.
But I'm vaccinated, I'm boosted.
Yeah.
Don't have too many compromising, so hopefully we'll get through it. Oh, Mike, if I died, he wasn't getting a Christmas card next year.
who gets the radios?
Yeah, my sister-in-law, she went to a birthday party for a 97-year-old. And anyway, one of the grandchildren, they were all vaxxed. One of the grandchildren tested positive the day after, and 9 out of 12 ended up positive, including my sister-in-law.
You mean it was that contagious?
Yeah.
Apparently this new one is contagious enough that a greeting at the door through a pair of masks.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Mike was here for a short period of time and we worked on a radio, and then he left, out here in the garage, and it is what it is. He called me Sunday and shared the good news with me. And by Tuesday I was having the same symptoms as him. So we'll see.
Anyway, of the 9, none of them had anything but, sore throat and little.
That's what mine is. It's just like a bad head cold at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, it sure seems to spread like wildfire. But at least it's not so damn deadly.
You guys okay if I come to the club meeting and don't mask up?
I don't care.
I will not be there.
Oh, dang it.
Chicken pox party.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
I would rather catch this version than the other one.
Hey, Robbie,
Oh,
Yeah, Blake.
there's more to come.
you need the
It's called
male,
a
female.
good old winter cold.
Yeah, Blake.
You need the male or the female plug.
Oh, the male.
Okay, I have the female. I don't see a male in the drawer, but I'll check a couple other places. But that's a very common Cinch Jones plug. I'm willing to bet somebody will have that for you if I don't.
Okay, because it goes into my my cart machine.
Yep.
From my,
I've got 4-pin, 3-pin. I've got 4-pin, 3-pin, and 8-pin in abundance, but the only 6-pin one I have is a female.
okay, I already have a female, so.
I won't tell your wife that.
I got one too.
Well, it won't be the first time.
She's a pretty good lady. I'd hang on to her.
Oh, yeah. She's gonna be getting real strict here with my granddaughter. My granddaughter's been, ever since she started babysitting when she was about 5. Now she's 7, and the granddaughter is more demanding, more stubborn, more ornery than ever.
They get
But
that.
Sally's getting used to all that
Yep, the
nonsense. So,
more you let that 7-year-old baby sit, the more stubborn she's gonna get.
well, on top of all that, she has autism.
Oh,
Mm.
So
Oh,
that,
yeah, that one direction and they go in the other direction.
yeah, one day she does this, next day she does that. And if we change any of our
Yeah,
plans, she just doesn't like it at all. Hello,
Yep,
Linda.
this can be very
Hello.
difficult.
I see Linda Gillespie's
Hi,
here.
Linda.
Hello. Yeah, we were talking about, last week, you said you're going to talk about records.
You got it.
Yep.
Let's break if you
You got a record?
not physically though.
You got a record?
I
A
have
police
100.
record?
I have, yeah, no. I've been on jury duty,
Ooh,
Oh,
not anymore. I went through one trial and that was it. I got a letter from my doctor. It said it's too traumatic. I can't do it anymore.
Wow, was it a long one?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a 1 week,
Oh, wow.
but it was, we didn't have to sequester or anything like that, but it was still not fun.
are they still doing them by Zoom, Linda?
I don't know. This was 10 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I understand that they've Superior Court for the state has postponed all court.
I was on a federal trial about 1.5 years ago out of Tacoma, and it was all done by Zoom. And by the time I got done, that was a month and 3 days or something like that.
Oh,
Got
geez.
giving off, but
They
yeah,
they called me,
I'm all done.
I got called in for jury duty on a DWI, DUI. And my ex had 3 or 4 of them on his record. And so the opposing attorney turned me down.
I
So
usually
I didn't have to serve on any of those. I got called in 3 times. I got sent home every time.
get as far as telling them I'm an electrical engineer, and I'm out.
Yeah.
Tell him that you're related to a police officer.
You know what? On the trial I was on, the electrical engineer did not get me out of it. And one of the people that was on it, her husband was a Vancouver police officer, and she was on the jury.
I can't
Oh,
believe
wow.
it. Wow.
Well,
The only jury I served on, when they selected them, one of the people was the bartender, and she claimed that the guy that was in being judged. She's seen him in the bar, and they kept her in there, and I was surprised on that one.
Yeah.
Defense was looking down and doing something else when that one came up.
Yeah.
Yeah, last time was on jury duty. This interviewer guy asked me, he says, "What do you think about this guy? He killed 3 people." And I says, "Hang him high." And he says, "Well, you're excused."
Done. I made a statement. They asked me about, the police, my feeling about law enforcement. And, I was honest. I told them, I said, I think most of them are there to do a good job. And I said, they have this unenviable situation when they got a gun pointed at them. If they pull the trigger first, they end up in court. I said, if they pull the trigger last, they end up in the hospital or dead.
Mhm.
I wouldn't sign up for it. And they still kept me.
Bobby Dark, yeah.
But it was all done on Zoom. Every bit of it, never left my house. Oh, Myron's got something cute.
Oh, yeah, that looks nice.
Where's the record go?
Sorry, no record. I bought this from a guy who had it on the California radio website.
Oh,
And it's a
CHRS or scars?
CH
CHRS,
or yeah, whatever letters they are, starting CH.
California Historical Radio Society.
Yeah. And it's a Sonora from like 1941. And so it's got the miniature tubes. This was only the second year that those were made, right? And so they made a few variations of this. And I'd never seen one before. And so, as you know, everybody knows I like portable radios. And so it has the antenna is in the lid here. And it has a switch for, I've got it upside down.
So I can dig out all the portables I got in the shed and send them over to you if I'm cleaning.
Yeah, so I got it upside down, but yeah, it's got the switch AC/DC or battery.
Nice.
So it has a 67.5 volt battery, and then it has a line cord, and it has a nice leather strap, so you could carry it this way. I thought it was pretty cool.
7.5 volt battery right here.
Yeah. One of the interesting things is it has a 45 Z3, which I'd never heard of before. It's as what you would expect. It's a 7-pin miniature 45 volt rectifier. So they just have a 1K resistor in the filament string for that guy. And, later sets had 117 Z3s, right? But it's a cute little set, I thought,
Yeah.
Leatherette. And
Looks to be in nice shape.
yeah, it's very clean. So the guy was actually from Seattle. So I got it in 3 days or whatever, but yeah, it needs a little work. One of the interesting things is the back, I couldn't figure out how to open it, but if you see here, this bottom screw has an oval hole in the wood. And so what happens is you loosen the screw and then you push it up and it has a disc that slides down into the wood. And so you loosen the screw and then push it and it, moves the disc up out of the wood. Then you can pull the back out.
More of a latch.
Yeah, sort of. I mean, it just has a piece of metal that goes into the wood, right?
Mhm.
It's both the screw holes, and that's why they're oval.
Okay.
You can loosen it and then pull it up, and then that makes this part of the back come up. And the top just has, little pieces of metal that slide into the wood. So, it has a little damage where somebody couldn't figure out how to open it. And I certainly had a hard time figuring out how to open it. But the clue is the oval pieces of the wood there. So that's pretty cute.
I've got the opposite one on my bench, Myron.
Something that's not cute.
It's not cute and it's not portable.
You got that hammer in there.
All done with, just ready to do the alignment on it.
Cool.
18 tubes, no batteries.
What is it, HQ 180?
Yep.
18 tube, that sounds about, okay. Is that dual conversion?
Yes.
With that number of tubes, it should be. Okay, that's a nice receiver.
Yeah, it's an incredible receiver. I've been very impressed with it. Of course, you know, it's full of disc and silver micas, so there's not a whole lot of restoration work. I think there was like 5 or 6 capacitors that were in either paper ceramic or plastic paper. And pull those out and put a new 4-section filter in it. Fired it up and away it went.
Is it yours or belongs to another ham?
No, it's mine.
Oh, okay.
You actually get to work on some of your own stuff?
And I actually have this to go with it.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's nice.
Like, did you ever get that, was that Philco? AM, FM 45? I can't remember the rest of the numbers now. That we were doing for the club.
No, I'm ready to send that back to you.
Right.
Oh, you're laughing, but no, I replaced everything underneath, and you know, like I said, I rebuilt everything underneath that, and put it all back together, and it's still got some problems, and I kind of set it aside, and then I kind of lost track of it. So
yeah, I think it was a 45. I think it was a 480 or something. I don't know what it was, but it was a 45. That was interesting.
It's down here in the box next to me on the floor with about 2 radios on top of it.
So Blake, did you ever get around to repairing and playing that, what do they call it, beam of light, Philco?
You know, I did, but the individual didn't want to pay for it. They opted to go a different direction. So that project's all done. But they left the beam of light here for me, and I wouldn't say I've completely restored it, but I did get the phonograph arm to work, and it's amazing what you can use to do that. You know, I'm using a high power LED and a sodium cell, and it works remarkably well.
Uh-huh.
I didn't go any further than that. It really needs a full rebuild.
Yeah. Just a interesting bend in technology, you know.
Well, you had Zenith that did the Cobramatic that, you know, had its own detector, and it was a little different.
Yeah.
And same time frame too. And then Philco decided to do it with a beam of light.
Okay, we're talking vinyl, right?
I think tonight is records or vinyl or transcription discs or something.
There's my vinyl.
Is that Lawrence of Arabia?
Nice.
Yeah,
What
2
what
full
year is that?
discs, both sides.
What year is that? Any idea?
Well, it's laser disc, okay,
That's Peter O'Toole, right?
but it's vinyl. Yeah,
Somewhere in my collection, I've got a needle. Is that the original RCA selective,
No.
or is it a
No.
laser?
that's the laser disc.
Oh, okay. Somewhere in this garage is a needle for one of those RCA select divisions.
So, you know, Lawrence of Arabia with blue eyes, right?
Yeah, anyway, it's 2 laser discs, both sides. So it's a long movie. Anyway, laser disc kind of went away, but boy, they were pretty good when they came out. Sure beat VHS.
Yeah, I had one of those laser discs and I tried to clean it because the outer got scratched, and I cleaned it with some acetone or something, and guess what? That part never did a thing after that.
It melted it.
Yeah, it changed the surface to the point that it couldn't track whatever's inside. I don't know.
Wow.
Well, I still have one, but we don't use it very often.
You got a player, I assume.
Pioneer CLD 3090.
Huh.
It automatically plays both sides. So something in the center goes flip flop around the vinyl. I haven't actually opened it up to see how that works.
Yeah, the first time I saw a laser disc, I was amazed at the clarity when it first came out.
One thing I found out though, you have to have the thing absolutely level. I don't know whether the Pioneer is just touchy, but this one certainly is. If it's not absolutely level, it tends to try and skip and carry on.
So Pat, tell us about yours.
Oh, no. Doesn't anyone else have any records?
I have some vinyl. There you go.
Statler, yeah.
Brothers, that's my current test record out here in the garage. I've got about 400 pieces, but in my day, I would buy them, clean them, put them on my turntable and rip them to Super Beta Hi-Fi. So a lot of my albums have only been played once or twice.
Okay. Uh-huh.
I got tons of records. I actually collected records before I started radios, if you can believe that. But this right here is a child's phonograph that my wife painted up for me. It was in really bad shape, but she got it looking really good. And it's basically a wind-up 78 player, and it played records like this. This one happens to be a little picture record.
Oh yeah. Is that what they call a Vogue record, or is that later?
No, I've got some of those too. I don't think Vogue made these, but I got a bunch of little kitty picture records.
Ooh, Silent
And-
Night, Christmas music. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
And then you guys heard of the Little Wonder records? They're
Yeah, I've got some of those.
little 78s. They're
Oh, darn.
one-sided.
Wow.
I'll be darned.
You collect those, Pat?
Oh, yeah, because I have this little record player.
Let's see if I can find them.
Okay.
They have an orange label, orange or yellow label on them, don't they?
Yeah. They my little wonders are all orange, but I'm not sure if they came in other colors. I think most of them, all of mine are the orange.
Okay.
So I'll go on. This is a standard record. This is early 1900. I believe these are what they call announced records. So when you play the record, it tells you when it's the song tells you what the title is. So they're called announced records. If you notice a hole on this one, it's a little bit bigger. That's because it's the standard size. And of course, these are one-sided as well.
Oh,
Of course, here's a standard Edison diamond disc record. You notice these are a little different because they're like a 1/4 inch thick.
yeah.
Wow.
Bill and Dale.
Yeah, they're recorded differently. So I've got another kind of a record. These are harmony records, and you can tell that this is a much bigger hole as well. The standards were, I think, 1/2 inch. The regular 3378 records are 1/4 inch. These harmonies are 3/4 of an inch.
Wow.
So
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 far,
you
I've
never
never-
have a player that would play that big of a hole, or?
No, I've asked the phonograph, the OTAPS people, I was looking for a record player to play this, and
Yeah.
no one has come back the same. They've either seen one or have one for sale. So I have a feeling that the 3/4 inch players are kind of rare. So
I bet
what
Tom-
happens is I got this little adapter in here that you put in the center.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
converts it from a 3/4 to like a 1/4 inch. So, you can still play them. But I've yet to find a record player that plays 3/4 inch spindles.
There's still 78s.
Oh, yeah, but they're still 78s. This is the Vogue picture record that Blake was asking about. These are 78s as well.
Yeah, Sonny used to have quite a collection of those.
Yeah, these are
Including,
quite collectible.
Oh, yeah.
got that, and
So that, do they hold up to wear as well as the standard record?
I don't know. I probably would never play it on a, like a wind-up phonograph. I would only probably play it on a, more modern
Sure.
one, just because I actually am kind of afraid to play it because I might wear it out faster. So I have no idea how long they would last.
Mhm.
And don't want to find out.
Right. So here's a Pathé record. Now, these are like Edison Diamond Disc. They're cut Hill and Dale. So a Victrola record is, the recording is sideways. And on this Pathé, the recording is actually done Hill and Dale. It's up and down.
So Hill and Dale versus lateral.
Yes, that's the Pathé records. Later on, Pathé did make the lateral cut ones, but the early Pathés are vertical cut.
So when did they transition from the cylinders to flat records?
I did a flat record prior 1900 are actually fairly rare. So I would have to say that most of the records that are flat are most commonly probably mid 1900s, like 1906, 8, around there on up, because it's really hard to find a pre-1900 flat record. So like that the early standard one with announced record, that one is patented in like 1906. And a lot of the RCA, the red labels, or the Victrola records, or the RCA ones, those tend to be like,
30s and 40s, aren't they?
huh?
30s and 40s for the red label Columbias.
Oh, yeah, no, I was talking about the red label Victrola records.
Okay.
I have a bunch of those here. Let's see.
They
where
don't
are they?
have dates on them. How do you know what year?
A lot of them have, let's see, here's a black label Victrola records. I assume this is probably 19.
I think I've got a book over here that has all the numbers and crosses them over to dates.
Oh, okay.
Probably, this one's 1908.
Because don't they have inscriptions of like data, I mean, numbers and stuff like that in the inner tracks where it's flat? And that's how you can tell what their numbers were?
Well, yeah, I guess I'm not much of a record, expert, but this one has a 185378 actually engraved into the record, but I have no idea what that means.
Yeah, that's what I thought, was they kind of wrote it on the masters.
Yeah, I think those are ordinal numbers. I mean, the higher the number, the newer the record.
Yeah, that would make sense. Oh, here's a different one. I remember a long time ago, they always thought these were real collectible. It is these Vocation Brown records.
Yeah, Vocalion.
This is an Aeolian from 1921. It was 75 cents.
A lot of money.
Spendy.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, I don't know what 75 cents in 1921 money would be today, equivalent.
Like
$10.
times 100? Huh? It's like times 100? I don't know.
I don't know. Oh, I got some other stuff, but oh well. Maybe someone else can go, because I've, like I said, I've got tons and tons of records, but they're all, sorts of different types.
On the newer end of things, I've got a Styx Paradise Theater album from probably the mid 1980s that has the theater itself laser etched onto both sides of the record. I think that one's kind of interesting.
Cool. Yeah.
I've got one that's never been out of the package. It's still sealed, and I have one that I played once and ripped a Super Beta Hi-Fi, but unique.
I have, yeah.
I want to see
Yeah,
what
I've got these.
Well, those are transcription,
wow.
19-inch,
16.
16. Okay, yeah, 16-inch.
Is that a 16 RPM? I think they had 16 RPM records.
No, 33 and a third. It plays 33. It says right on the label, 33 1/3. I don't
That's
know
a-
if I can do it. But anyway, my husband has 100 of these.
Wow.
And
Do you have,
most of them, this is Armed Forces. This is the Forward March, which is the Armed Forces radio.
AFRTS.
Yes. Most of his transcription discs are the AFRTS.
Oh, but there's some
And they're-
fun stuff
they're-
on those.
Yeah, and oh yeah, there's some really beautiful thing. But I made a log for him, and he's got Hit Parade, Castellanets, the Andrews Sisters, Bandwagon, that Blondie, Boston Symphony, Cass Daly, I have no idea who that is. Chiquita. Oops. And
So they play for about a half hour on a side, don't they? Oop, I think Linda blacked out.
Your feed froze.
are you there?
We are there, but you're.
Okay, yeah,
there you
my
are.
internet service is intermittent. If I don't put my hotspot on, it goes away.
you have
Somebody asked me a question.
you
when
have
I-
your transition turntable?
Yeah, we have a 16-inch transcription turntable, but it's not a studio turntable. It's a not homemade. We took a record player to a phonograph store or a phonograph repair person, and he actually put the tone arm back so that it could play 16-inch discs. So we have a player. And I couldn't get my husband to understand what I was asking him, so I can't play it. I was gonna play it.
So those run about a half hour on a side, don't they?
I think it's 15 minutes, but it could
But
be
this-
half hour. I'm not really sure. Some of them were 15 minutes. Some of the radio programs were 15 minutes, and then you'd have a commercial, and then they'd go to the other side of the record. So they could either flip them during the commercial break or have two turntables. So they have one on one turntable, one on the other, and then they just switch back and forth between the turntables. To show to play the other half of the program. Yeah, so there's one of the things that he does have is the complete run of Damon Runyon's theater. And I've seen Damon Runyon on eBay, but they've got like one record or two, and we've got 8. 8 of them, I think.
Linda, did you say what speed they ran at?
33 1/3. Yeah, it says right on the record, 33 1/3. So it'll if you could find someone that knows how to repair phonographs, you could get a phonograph player. All you have to do is well, it's not as simple as just moving the tone arm, I guess. I think it has something to do with the way the
Too.
yeah, the
You
way
gotta have a
the way it
longer-
turns.
Got to have a longer tone arm also.
Yeah, no, he gave us a longer tone arm and he moved it out to the side of the player so that the records would fit. But he also had to adjust the belt and the gearing inside to play it correctly, because the way that, you moved the tone arm and moved a whole bunch of other things. He knew what he was doing because it works.
And
But
they're
yeah,
designed for stations, right? I mean,
excuse me?
they're designed for radio stations.
Yes. They were sent overseas to be played for the troops, and all the AFRS have no commercials on them because they didn't want the soldiers to be homesick.
Is that Brian? I'm doing pretty good, I guess.
They'd let them listen to home music, but they wouldn't let them listen to the commercials.
No, well, you couldn't get any of the products when you were overseas.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just know that for some reason or other, the military decided that they didn't want the commercials on the records.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, Linda,
Yeah.
are your big records, or do they have something on the backside or are they only one-sided?
some of them are one-sided, but these AFRS have both sides. They have labels on both sides. So, yeah, they're yeah, there's a bunch of military language on it. It says further authority for broadcast not required. All talent, music, and copyrights cleared. This record is in the property of the government of the United States and cannot be used for commercial purposes. U.S. Army Recruiting Service. So yeah, this is a AFRS. Yeah, we got about 100 of those,
Wow.
but or
My
anyway,
my transcription record that has this Victrola logo on it. I don't know if you can see it, but it's,
yeah,
that's-
RCA.
yeah.
Oh, that's pretty. Is that on one side and then the music's on the
Yeah.
other? Yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, most of the records that are one-sided have nothing on them. They're just flat. But they're really flimsy. They're really thin.
Yeah, they are. I was
Yeah.
surprised
But
how thin they
they,
are, and especially being printed on both sides, you know?
Yeah, well, if they had to mail them overseas, maybe it had to do with the weight considerations. Who knows?
This one
um,
looks to be about the same thickness as a 33 and a third record. I mean,
Oh,
it's
yours,
pretty-
yeah, yours is.
these are pretty thick.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not the
Mine-
normal transcription turntable.
Yeah. See
Record I
mine?
see.
Oh, wow.
Mine are-
Yeah.
Mine are, yeah, you can bend them.
They're quite
Mine
flexible.
are really, really thin.
So I worked on a transcription turntable for a guy. And not only does it do mono, stereo, lateral, and up and down, up
Up and down.
hill and dale,
Here we go.
but you have a switch in which you can combine or subtract, or in other words, if you got a noisy record, sometimes you can clean it up by throwing in some hill and dale backwards.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a, this RCA turntable had all kinds of crazy features, but the actual cartridge was pretty complex. It had like 6 leads coming out of it that
Oh,
you
yeah.
then ran into a bunch of switches and stuff to do this stuff.
Yeah, we had a couple of studio turntables that belonged to, or that were donated to the radio enthusiasts of Puget Sound. And we had them in our basement because they didn't have any room for storage. And when we quit the club, they came over and absconded. Yeah, they were worried we were going to sell them or something, I guess. I don't know.
Did you
But
play
I
them?
mean, well, they weren't working.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but the record player that we do have does work, but it's just a standard 33 and a third turntable. So,
This thing had a big flywheel on it. It was incredible.
yeah, the ones I've seen are about the size of a small Volkswagen. Or a Mini Cooper.
Well, they're about, what,
Yeah,
2.5
they were-
foot square by
Yeah,
table height.
yeah. I exaggerated. Yeah, they were the one that was donated was Art Deco, was pink and gray. Was really pretty. So I don't know what they ever did with it, so. But they deal with the old time radio, not the software, not the hardware. Yeah, my husband's going to be selling his collection, so people were asking us, well, what do you got? I have a log that's 15, 20 pages long. It just gives the episode numbers and Mirth and Madness, The Great Gildersleeve, Mr. and Mrs. North.
Been a long
Yeah.
time since I've seen some of those, heard some of those programs.
Yeah, yeah. Like I was telling people last month, that if you're interested in old time radio, there's a website called theradiolady.com. And she has quite a massive collection of old time radio programs. And sells them on MP3 discs for like $6. Her prices may have gone up. I haven't really looked for her website for a while because we've got quite a few. Yeah, my husband likes Fibber McGee and Molly.
You know, in Portland, of course, probably most of you know that they have what KPAM
Right.
on Saturday and Sunday evenings play a lot of the old radio shows, Fibber McGee and Molly and The Great Gildersleeve and Superman and all kinds of them.
Big John and Sparky and on and on and on.
Yeah, yeah. KIXI here in Seattle has a same program, Saturday, Sundays. And Jim French, his family runs a website where there are a whole bunch of, yeah, her website is still active. She has a lot of, holy smokes, a lot. I was trying to think. Oh, the genres, British children's comedy, detective crime, drama, horror, sci-fi, music, mystery, adventure, westerns, World War II, and history. So yeah, it's got quite a collection. But I don't see anything. Yeah, she still sells them for $6.
So last week I was looking at some Gilfillan radios that Dave Brown had asked about. And I was surprised to see that they had a electric phono pickup on some of those in 1926. I thought that stuff didn't show up till the 30s. Did they actually have crystal pickups on phonographs in the 20s?
No.
I believe they did, Byron. There's a lot of old schematics in the 20s that have, a phono pickup connection. Maybe late 20s, but seems to me I've seen a lot of schematics that had those.
I've only got 2 or 3 old arms for phonographs and all of them are magnetic, with a magnet and a rubber hinges for the needle.
Yeah, I was gonna say the RCA and the Victor stuff was all coil.
And it's not going to show everybody.
Okay.
But in the 20s then, did you have like a low-level magnetic pickup like that, Blake?
I think it was ceramic then.
That's what I was expecting, yeah.
Here you are right there.
Ceramic gives you a little more voltage too than a magnetic pickup.
A lot more, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just surprised. I'd always thought that everything was, mechanical through the 20s at least.
When did the salt crystal cartridges come into use?
Don't know.
More the late 30s, early 40s, I guess.
Is that a variation on the Galena stuff?
I don't think so.
Is that different technology?
I don't really know. That's not my area of expertise, and I don't think I've ever seen one intact. They get any kind of moisture in them, and that salt crystal just dissolves. You got a aluminum cartridge full of dust.
Yeah, well, the Galena thing was, crystals, rock crystals, right? But the reason they call it Galena was that was the town in Minnesota that they mined most of it, right? Piezoelectric, right?
Well, I don't know anything about that.
I don't either.
I think George Kirkwood one time put on a show and tell, and he could make the crystals.
Yeah, that's right. He did. I remember that, Larry.
Yeah, yeah. So
I know.
and I think
I know I've rebuilt a few of the crystal cartridges using piezoelectric buzzers, and more recently, and with better success, one of the surplus houses was selling some piezoelectric sensors out of some medical equipment, and not much bigger than a grain of rice. And those actually work pretty well. Not quite as much voltage as a crystal cartridge, but unfortunately, I've only got 4 or 5 of those medical sensors left, and I can't seem to find any more.
We still
I
on
remember-
record yet?
I think so.
I've got an old Spike Jones record here.
Oh, yeah.
It goes back clear into the 50s, I think. It's an old mono. But boy, it's got some wild songs on it.
Yeah, Spike Jones was quite a
Really?
character.
yeah, he was a character.
Take a regular song and just make a big mess of it, but it sure sounds good though.
The 1962, 61 or 62, went to Disneyland down in California, and Spike Jones was one of the headliners.
Oh,
So I got to see him live.
Well, I bet he was quite an entertainer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was, you're right. He takes the song and twists it up and
So let's see, Weird Al Yankovic before we Weird Al Yankovic.
no, but they had a lot of, no, he conducted, but they had all kinds of sound effects and all of that kind of stuff. And well, yeah, it was and he tell jokes, and it was funny, it was interesting.
Yeah.
God, that was a long time ago.
It was, wasn't it?
was it Alan Sherman or Al Sherman or somebody that wrote "Hello Mutter, Hello Fodder" and Camp?
Yeah, Alan Sherman, yeah.
Yeah, that's more my day.
Camp Lowata.
And here I am at Camp Granada.
Yeah. And in the end, he says, "Hello Mutter, Hello Fodder. Please disregard this letter." The sun came out.
Whoever bought the load of 33 and a third records at the last auction, I think there was an Alan Sherman record in there.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
Hey,
Probably why it got bought.
Somebody else asked some, I can show you some of my records.
Okay.
there's them out.
Apparently, this is the oldest one I have. It's a Silvertone. And I don't know anything about records other than it's just old and hard Bakelite or whatever it's called, hard Bakelite.
Well, we need to get together. I've got a Silvertone wind up over there on the floor.
Hey,
We should
yeah.
go together.
Anyway, here's another one. This is one that I thought had a burned out hole, but maybe it's one that has a 1/2-inch hole in it.
Well, be darned.
This is down the old Texas Trail.
Yeah, someone may have had to modify it for their record player.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to be real careful to move it around so that it would be centered, and it plays good. These are some
Yeah.
old ones. These are some Spanish ones that I don't have the slightest idea where I got them, but they're Spanish songs. I don't know about Vega. Do you know? I don't know anything about Vega Records.
They were,
Is that a 78?
yeah, looks like it.
I don't see it written on there. No, this is a 33 and a third, and it's only got the track about that far in. It doesn't go clear in.
It's not the full size 33, is it? It's a smaller one?
One of those
It's like
early.
a 78. It's the size of a 78.
Yeah, Stromberg Carlson made some phonographs that played those early 33s that were that size.
Yes, anyway, the other thing that I kind of like a lot is this Tex Ritter album. There's five or six songs in there, and they're for children. They're not the kind of songs that the cowboys would sing.
I need to go in the house and get my little black Sambo. It's that.
Yeah.
My mother's lucky to get that to me. I've had to hide it.
Oh, Elvis.
This is probably I was gonna say the rarest one I've got, but it's an Elvis Christmas song. And I don't know, this is 33 1/3. So again, I don't know where I got these records, but that's the best ones I had that I pulled out.
Yeah, Elvis might be worth something.
Yeah. Look on eBay.
Yeah.
I was also, when I show you my radios, I got a collection. I had 2 boys and 3 daughters in the 60s and 70s, and I've got 127 45 RPM records of that era. I can't stand that music, frankly, but that's what they liked.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what I've got.
Thanks, David.
I got another one here. It's an old Edison one. Can you see that one? You see that okay?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Volume 2.
I
You
don't
have
have
volume 1 too?
I don't have volume 1, this volume 1, the 2 here. It plays pretty good too.
What songs are on it?
Okay, there's those ragtime melodies when Midnight Choo Choo leaves for Alabama. The Hungarian Rag, You Made Me Love You, Alexander's Ragtime Band, International Rag. Egyptian Echoes, 5 Pennies, Get Out and Get Under the Moon. You'll Do It Someday. Chinese Jumble and Moonlight Waters.
That sounds like the 30s or 40s.
I think
Yeah.
it's probably 40s. Anybody ever remember this movie?
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you bet. They got some great songs in there.
Yeah. Here's one that when I was a kid, we got out the Victrola that we had, and we played this every Christmas.
Clipper McGee.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, boy,
yeah.
it was the night before Christmas.
that's a great one.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fun. The only other one I grabbed was Connecticut Yankee and Bing Crosby.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's got, I think, 3 or 4 records in it.
Is that 78s?
Yeah, these are all 78s. These are Decas.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Nothing real exciting. Every sleeve in it has my mother-in-law's maiden name stamped on it. That's kind of cool. But
I
yeah,
just think
Fibber McGee and Molly it's got it's got the closet in it. All the different people are in it. And I think it was 4. Was it 4 records or 3? Looks like it was. It's 3 records, 2 sides, so 6 sides.
Yeah, that was good entertainment on a night when it was snowing outside and you want to keep inside and keep warm.
Yeah.
We lived in the San Joaquin Valley. There was no snow.
Oh,
But I tell you, it was the one night of every year that the fancy tie-dye tablecloth and all of the knickknacks that were on top of the phonograph got pulled off and it got opened up and wound up, and away we go. We'd listen to that, and then we'd follow with had about a dozen Christmas records, and we'd all sit around and sing to the Victrola. Sometimes we'd have to wind it up.
Wind her back up again. Huh?
Good times.
Yeah.
So
we
what
have-
years was that?
Oh, that was in the 70s, probably the late 60s, early 70s. We did that.
You didn't have an electric phonograph?
We did.
Oh, okay.
Tell you some funny stories about it too. It was a Voice of Music, had been a large tabletop that my dad put these little short stubby legs on, and it became a little consolette. But you have to understand, I came from a pretty poor family. My dad worked 3 jobs to keep things going, and
Wow.
we had a hi-fi well into the 70s.
Uh-huh.
So Blake, are those 33 and a third or are they 78s?
These are all 78s.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
So is that,
according
that's
to-
about what, 14 minutes a side or something like that?
I don't know. Seemed like it, as a kid, it seemed like it lasted for hours.
I don't think if they're 78s, I don't think they were last 14 minutes aside.
I don't know. I don't really remember.
My dad had a bunch of 78s. I wish I still had them. He had Bing Crosby's Christmas and a bunch of other bands.
Okay.
in
So
70s.
somebody's going to have to play 78 and time it.
Yeah, see how long it takes.
Yeah.
'Cause I thought a 33 was good for about
Ask
15 minutes.
Google.
You go.
Yeah. Well, that's too easy to ask Google.
You can't listen to the music if you have to Google it.
If you guys are game, I'll
There
go.
you can.
I'll go get
You got
this
speakers.
over here and we'll try it.
Well, most all 78 records, there's only one song per side. And then they're usually 10 inches, in diameter.
I think you get about 7-8 minutes max.
Yeah.
There you go. Do some math.
3 to 5, but
Yeah. You gotta have.
According to Google, it's 3.5 minutes.
Uh-huh.
There you go.
Well, that's only a
12
minute.
inch-
That's only a minute and a half more than my cylinders.
You know, you,
Standard-
you-
Does that mean that a 78 lasts less than a 4-minute cylinder?
78 revolutions per minute.
so it's kind of interesting. That would probably dictate a lot of the music that was written. They had to go put a song, on one side of a record because that's what they're trying to sell, right?
Yep.
So does anybody here know what the average number of grooves is on a 33 RPM record?
Oh,
More than
No.
78. It
Two.
varies.
2.
Yes, you're right.
they're 22 minutes aside.
I grew up after the 78 era, so I don't have any 78s. In fact, this is, I brought the oldest record in my collection out. And my dad used to have this. It's 1957. He had a really nice gray research hi-fi set that he would play this on.
The
I think
banana
Gray
boat.
was another one of the manufacturers of transcription turntables and arms. They had those long 16-inch arms that they use in radio stations.
that has the banana boat song on it.
There you go.
It has the banana boat song.
Let's see.
I think that's the only song I know he sung.
No, but it's got Angelico and Coconut Woman. Oh, all these songs are great. I mean, they all bring back good memories. I restored a Silvertone record changer upstairs, and it's from like 1949 or so. But it plays 78s, 45s, and 33s, and it stacks them up. And it's great because I can stick 6 or so 45s on there, and it'll play for a good long time, and we can have a sock hop.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, most of my records are LPs from the 60s and 70s and newer, and then I've got a bunch of 45 RPM records from my youth.
I guess the name of the song is Deo, right? The banana boat song.
Yeah.
Deo.
oh,
Yeah, it's not on this album.
Oh, not. Oh, okay.
That may
Was
have
that
been
Harry
earlier.
Belafonte that did that, or was that another?
Yeah,
Yes,
Oh,
yeah. That's what made him big famous, I think.
Yeah, daylight coming, I want to go home.
yeah.
I remember at 78 bringing home my first true turntable. My dad spied the box on the counter and saw the price that I paid for it. And he gave me a good hard chewing, telling me that I spent more on this record player than he spent on all the record players that he'd bought in all of his life. I didn't have the heart to tell him it didn't include the cartridge. Still have that turntable and that cartridge, so.
Yeah, we got a bunch of 78s. And I've got a bunch of 45s, so my kids were using them for Frisbees, so they look pretty, but you can't play them because they're so scratched.
45s usually got beat up anyway. I mean, without even having to use them as Frisbees.
Well, if it was a really good record, you'd play it over and over and over.
And wear it out.
Wear the grooves out, right?
Yeah.
Most of them were very poorly made anyway and didn't have very good fidelity.
Oh, sure. Yeah, you know, they made them by the millions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how many of you knew John Livingston, member of our club who recently moved to Tennessee. As a thank you gift for some bench time, like 3 years worth of it, he took one of the RCA 45 players, one of the ones that had the amplifier built in, little tiny thing.
Oh yeah, those are good.
Completely rebuilt it for me from the ground up. It sits up in my office, and I got a stack of 45s on it. You know, none of them sound very good, but neither does the phonograph. So they're a good match for each other.
Yeah, I restored one of those once, and you know, I put a new cartridge in it from VM Enthusiasts, I think it's called.
Yep.
Voice of Music, and you know what? That 45s on that thing sound great. For some reason, you don't get all the noise and hiss and scratch. It just music comes out.
That's kind of the same with mine. I mean, it's just music that comes out, and everything is so poor it doesn't bring out all of the finer missing notes.
Yeah, I mean, it's only got a 4-inch speaker in it, so it's
Yeah, I believe that's correct.
yeah.
I think it's the 2-tube amplifier. I think it's
Yep.
free, but just a fun toy. And what amazes me on that is how fast the record changer goes. That little tone arm comes up and drops another record, and it's back down in like 1.5 seconds.
Yeah.
Darn.
That next record. No time to rest between dances.
Yeah. Yeah, I just read an article from the Smithsonian, and they have some really, really old records that were like only one was ever made, but the record was broken in transit, or anyway, they kept all of the pieces, and they just figured out how to, or not just, but they can actually recreate that record using a laser.
Yeah.
So
It
they put it in a frame and squished it all together so all the pieces were touching. And then the laser read the record, and then they cleaned up the noise in it, and were able to use, you know, it's one of the original recordings of something. So it's historically valuable. So they spent the money to do the technology has really changed.
Amazing what you can do with computers.
Yeah.
They've done fantastic, you know, just amazing, like the laser reproduction and stuff.
Right.
They've really got quite a crew. I forget how many people, they had something on OPB here not too long ago, I think, wasn't it? Can't think. Anyway, all this restoration crew working on audio.
Stuff they do is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our organization out in Texas, and I believe it was for the 35th anniversary, which would have made it about 2008. We actually had a fellow come in. We had a quartet was our entertainment for dinner that year. and they brought in a cylinder cutter, battery operated Edison, and they powered it with Edison cells, and they actually cut a pair of 2-minute cylinders that year. They found the blanks, and they brought the quartet in, who screamed their music into one end of a 12 foot. I think the opening was 12 feet. No, I think it was 6 feet by 12 feet long. Anyway, they stretched the whole room, and they had this little tiny battery powered cutter on the other end, and they actually made 2-minute cylinders of this quartet. I don't remember what they sang, but the next day on Sunday, when we had our swap meet, which was indoors, they actually brought in a cylinder player and played the music they'd cut the night before. It was pretty cool.
I'll be darned. Yeah.
They're really clean right after you cut them.
Yeah.
Great.
I have some brand new Edison blank records, cylinder records.
Oh, do you?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think mine are Edison ones, but they're close. I've got where is that thing? Yeah, this is an Edison voice writer, I believe. But it's
Probably a transcription machine.
yeah, I think it's a transcription, but this one's blank, and it's kind of neat. It says Edison phone something way, 11R wax or something like that. But it's kind of cool.
So
box.
those things really were made out of wax, and you could shave off the old song and put on a new song. Is that true?
I don't know. Maybe
I
that's
think there was a machine that they used to do that.
it. Would shave it, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's turned.
I've got a couple Edison shavers.
Cool.
God, you got everything.
Yeah.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
And an incredibly patient wife who lets him have it all.
Yeah.
Now, you're a real winner with her, Pat.
Yeah, I know.
You know, make your middle name Pat is Edison, Pat Edison.
My wife lets me live in the house as long as I let her park the car in the garage. So
Oh, my.
I have a 2-car garage and 1.5 cars in it.
All right.
The right side or the left side?
What's the half car?
Half car's the Datsun. It's a little car. It's just not very big.
And we have a 2-car garage and it's full of radios.
But I have a garage-sized building in my backyard, and it doesn't have a car in it. It's full of radio parts.
Yeah, we
I'm
need one
sitting
of
in my
those.
garage right now, and you can see what's in there, and it's the cars are out in the driveway.
Yeah, my Datsun doesn't like being parked in the driveway in northwest kind of weather.
My garage,
Convertibles generally don't like that kind of weather.
my garage is full of radios.
See, my problem is that across the garage, that big black thing you see hanging on the wall is the top of the car. So
Yeah, we can see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the rest of it's under that blanket.
rest of it's under the car cover. Yep.
Yeah, what is it? What kind of a rare Datsun racing car is that?
You actually are more accurate than you think. It's a 69 Datsun 2000, and the 2000 was born of their little racing car, and they finally built a civilian version of it. I have one of those. Pat's ridden in it.
Oh, yes, I love that car. It's fantastic.
My dad took me to a racetrack, and we watched those Datsuns zipping around. They actually won the race, and that's the first time I ever heard of a Datsun.
Yeah. They had I guess if you convert it over, they had 119 cubic inch engine that develops about 150 horsepower. And then they put a supercharger on them in 68 and got like 235 to 250 out of them, which is just
Wow.
insane. It's a beer can and only weighs 1,800 pounds.
Yeah.
Were those 4 cylinders or 6 cylinders? Those are 4 cylinders, right?
They're 4-bangers. They're 2-liter engines.
Okay, that's what I thought.
In 1969, so that was a big deal. But yeah, they were winning everything in the SCCA circuit for a number of years. But
That was born of what they call homogulation, right? which meant if you wanted to race it, you had to build 2,000 of them for the civilian market.
Oh, really? Well, we won that round then because they built 13,000 of them for the.
Yeah, I believe that's how that happened. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the little 1600 that looks just like it except the engine. I think they built 35 or 40,000 of those. Aren't that many of them around? Most of them just rusted away, and then they introduced the 240, and then almost all the rest of them rusted away at that point. Nobody wanted an ugly Datsun 2000, not when you could get a 240.
And then came the 280.
And that was for half the price of a 911.
Yep. Yeah, a Datsun 2000 and a Datsun 240Z with a 6-cylinder engine in it. You put them on a racetrack, and the Roadster wins by about a car length. But and the 240 right now is worth, I don't know, 2 or 3 times what these are worth. So I didn't buy the right one. I should have bought a 240 and restored it.
Well,
You never
everybody-
know until it's too late.
I have no problem with it. You can't take the top off a 240. Well, you shouldn't take the top off.
It might not be safe.
Yes, might not be.
Everybody, good night. I'm gonna take off, so.
All right, good night, Robbie.
Hey,
See you, Robbie.
See you later, Robbie.
Yeah, see you later, everybody.
When
See you at the meeting.
when you get some time, I'm gonna show you the radio collection. You asked last time to show my radio collection, but tell me when you're ready.
Right now.
Okay, I have to share my screen. And I think when I share my screen, I can still talk.
Yeah.
Boy, I'm not very good at this, so I'm sorry.
Neither are the rest of us, David. You're in good company there.
I share. I don't know how to. Come on,
Takes a little, there you go. Now you gotta bring up your,
radios, come on, where's old radios? Shown at the club. Here we go. Here we start. There's just the far right end, and Pat says this little blue, purple and green, purple and yellow thing is worth a lot of money. So that's a picture of it, Pat.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that is an Arvin or Globe Catlin radio. I believe it's red with the golden grill, and one of them just like that sold on Radio Attic for over $2,700.
Yeah,
Oh, you say that's red? Sure looks purple to me.
I was thinking that was 5 years ago, and then when one sells for that much, I'll bet you 1,000 of them pop up for trying to get the same price. But nevertheless, that's it.
Is it purple? Because that would be even more rare.
It's kind of a brownish red.
It should be cranberry in color, kind of a dark red.
My wife could describe the color to me as red. Anyway, the clock,
The only one I've ever seen.
the clock radio is just a radio and a clock. The clock has nothing to do with the radio. The one above that, it looks like it'd be a nice one, but the paint's all coming off.
Yeah, the faux wood is peeling off of it.
so your clock there,
Yeah,
you got a little teeny little radio dial there, don't you?
yeah, it's a little radio dial on the bottom. Yeah.
Little bitty inconspicuous almost.
Yeah, it looks like the radio is an afterthought. Hey, let's put radio in that clock.
Yeah, all the notes, I went through them all and decided and fixed them if I could make them work and you know that, but you can't read the notes. Anyway, this is the next step over. There's a nice Motorola portable of the 50s. No, probably 60s, late 60s. It's got a selenium rectifier, like you said.
I'll
I
bet.
don't know what this one is. This one over here with the clock that's my personal radio. I made that case and put a radio in it back when I was in high school. So that's not part of my collection. This one here is I can't read it.
Arvin?
Arden, Arden, yeah, Arden, and it works pretty good. If you look in the background of this where the cursor is, there's an old radio case with holes in the front of it that's all full of ham gear, big coils and tube sockets and all that. There's two of those old radios with ham gear in them that don't have the radio in them. They just have the tank coils and stuff like that for a ham. Well, it went the wrong way.
That Motorola, I would say, is probably, mid to early 50s. Like you say, selenium rectifier. The antenna is in the lid on the top
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
the plastic lid.
Yeah, I concur. I think that's probably mid-50s.
They
Is it
came
tubed
also
or-
in maroon color.
Yeah.
As I recall, that works.
Byron, do you have that one? That portable?
I don't have that color. I have a maroon one. One of the interesting things about it is they had quite a whole bunch of capacitors all in one component inside to reduce the space and the costs. So it's like an early integrated circuit, although nobody admits to that.
Yeah.
It was a half a dozen capacitors in one.
Looks like a giant disc capacitor.
Yeah, it's just like a big ceramic disc capacitor with like 6 leads coming out of it.
Sprague had a name for those.
Yeah, they had some weird names for them. Yeah.
I got some over here.
I can remember very plainly the selenium rectifier, and it was crammed in so hard that I could hardly get at it, but I don't remember I take your word for it. I don't remember.
No, I'm just saying when you open them up, there's only, 2 or 3, maybe 4 wax capacitors. And
Yeah.
all the rest of them are in this big ceramic guy.
Yeah.
And it's in the audio output section. So the detector and the audio output and all that other stuff are all in like half a dozen leads off of a single package. And the great thing about it is, since it's ceramic, it doesn't deteriorate like those wax capacitors.
Yeah.
Sprague, by the way, called those bull plates, BULPLATES. I've got about 6 of them in my hand right here.
They must have made a bunch of variations of them too.
Oh, yeah. I've got a T5 and a P2 in my hand, and I'm sure they made lots of different ones.
So I'm always skeptical when they talk about Kilby, inventing the integrated circuit and all that. It's like, well, no, how about Motorola?
Yeah, but those were ceramics anyway. These two right in the middle here that I just switched over are both portables. I don't know whether they work on AC, but you can see they're a herringbone case. This one up here works. There's up on the very top is a high impedance magnet speaker and another high impedance magnet speaker and another higher impedance magnet speaker. That don't, it's not 8 ohm there.
A kill ohm or 2.
But no field coils?
They're made with a horseshoe magnet around
Oh,
2
wow.
coils and a metal thing that wiggles back and forth to move the cone.
The one that's sitting at an angle there, I think, is a Rolla, ROLA.
What you talking about?
That speaker that you've got in the upper right-hand corner, I believe that's a Rolla. Nope, the one kind of leaning on its side.
This one.
That one, I believe that's a Rolla.
I don't know if that one is all functional, but the leather thing that goes around the voice coil has all been deteriorated and cracked, but it still works.
Yep. I think I got the frame for that.
Anyway, this is a portable. That's a nice one that works pretty good. Oh, going the wrong way.
What was the manufacturer on that portable there?
This gray one says Columbia and a COLO Colonial.
Colonial, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you can see it. Anyway, so the next, going the wrong way again. These are some of the old transistor portable radios. This one right here, I owned, I had it one in 1960, so it was made in the 50s. this is a Sanyo, so it's probably made in the 70s or 80s. I don't know about this one here. But these are all transistor portables.
The one to the left of that's is a realistic MTA8. I'm actually listening to one of those right now.
This one?
Yep.
Or what? Yeah.
Yep, my dad has one of those in his shed that he gave me. It's over there on the other side of the garage. And my mother-in-law had one of those on her desk when she retired. So she gave it to me, and it's sat here in the garage for the last 25, 30 years.
Yeah, you can see it says Works transistor.
Yep. Little radios.
Go the right direction. Come on. Oh, we can't zoom till it's
That pocket radio is a Zenith. Do you know what model that is?
this one.
What was on the top of the, oh, what's
That's a
just to the left of your arrow? Which one is that? The pilot?
Royal 200.
That's a 200, yeah. Huh.
All transistor 200. Yeah. Like I say, I bought that and I had it in 1960. So I bought it sometime in the late 50s.
Oh, that's a fader.
Those came
It
out.
runs on four double A cells.
Yeah, all transistor.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if you
It's
turn
like
it
one
back
on
the
the
way
bottom that you're pointing to.
There's a tube tester, another tube tester, capacitor tester. There's two, vacuum tube voltmeters.
there's a lunchbox.
There's a citizens band radio of the
No, that was a
60s.
2 meter or 6 meter. It was either a 2er or a 6er. They were
It's channel 13, 27 megahertz, channel 13.
so they made a they made one identical to that was a 2 meter AM, and they made another one that looked just like that was a 6 meter AM, and they called them 2ers and 6ers. I didn't know they made them for CB. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's the microphone, and it does work. I don't have a license, but I turned it on, hooked it on to an antenna, and all of a sudden I got somebody, and I said, "Oh man, I better quit because I'm not licensed." Here's another couple old transistor radios. One's a flashlight, and the other is just a radio. This thing here is from an airplane. You put in 26 volts, and you get 110 volts, 400 hertz out. It's a generator, motor generator.
And the crank phone could have been almost any manufacturer.
The crank phone.
I mean, it's a Stromberg Carlson or Kellogg or God knows who, right?
Western Electric, Northern Electric.
Yeah, I mean, the whole bunch of companies made those.
Yeah, that's 5 magnets. I don't know where that means anything. And here's some 4-track hunts or whatever it is, 4-track tape recorders, and I think one of them's an 8-track, but the top ones are 4 tracks.
What in the world's a 4-track?
Back to this though, the Blaupunkt is, if that's a green face, then it goes in a 356. If it's white,
wow.
If it's white, then it goes in Volkswagens. The one on the lower left.
This
The upper left is just a Volkswagen from like in the 70s or something.
Yeah.
But the lower left one is possibly a tube. And like I say, if it's white, then it's, any like Mercedes or whoever. But if it's green, that's a Porsche 356.
that one has AM, FM. Oh no, it has AM and shortwave. I think it has 2 shortwave channels in it.
Really? Car radio.
Yeah, it might have long wave if it's anyway.
Does AM,
Maybe
FM
that's
on
what
the
it is.
buttons.
It has AM plus the other channels. Yeah, come on.
So Pat, the 4 tracks came out before the 8 tracks.
Yeah.
And I think the 8 tracks, the head actually moved on the tape up and down to get the other 4 tracks. But the first ones, they didn't move, so they were only 4-track.
Yeah, when you take the tape out, the head falls down and the spindle falls down so you can get the tape out.
Yeah.
Yeah, the capstan was in the middle of the tape.
Yeah, here's I think an 8-inch RCA portable TV. I've got the Sam's Photofax for that. I made it work a long time ago, but it was up in the attic for a number of years. And when I brought it down, it doesn't work, but it's there. Again, this is an old Atwater Kent, I think Model 30. I don't know what they are. I don't know, but an Atwater Kent
That's a Model 40, that's a Model 37,
37. Okay.
or somewhere in that vicinity. It's not a 30.
Okay.
30 has a wood case.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I've had two of these. This is the only one I got left, but I don't know that one. This is a car radio built for a car, and here's the part that bolts onto the steering wheel. You can see the little dial here. And this thing has a motor generator that goes under your seat to drive the radio.
Wow.
But that's probably in the early 30s or mid 30s. I don't know.
Yeah, probably early 30s.
Yeah. And that doesn't work.
I'll bet.
And this is, I don't know what that's called, but here's the
It's a radiola.
Here's the speaker, here's the record player, and it works. I think it's got 10 tubes in it or something like that.
Yeah, it's a radiola.
Like an RE32 maybe. Motorola.
It used to have a real nice case, but I never had the case. Somebody took the, the credenza, or what do you call it, and made it into a piece of furniture.
Liquor cabinet.
Yeah.
There you go. This is a crank up Victrola that doesn't have a disc on it, but it cranks and runs and everything. No, there's all my oscilloscopes that I'm trying to sell.
Oh, you got a Club Bringle.
Yes, and this one here, I'm talking to a company in Maine, the Oscilloscope Museum or something like that. And he says this one here is extremely rare. It's an old inert gas focus CRT. And all it has is one tube in it that's the rectifier, and the deflection plates just come out to the real world. But he said he's never seen one before, and he's kind of excited about that. But
Yeah, the
Yeah.
early ones were gas focused, which is kind of interesting.
yeah, he told me that the reason Alan B. Dumont tried to engineer a gas focused CRT is because Germany had the patent for the standard electron gun in a CRT. And so he was trying to, get around that patent. But he told me that just this kind of a CRT only lasted for 5 or 6 years. And finally, Alan B. Dumont traded his sweep circuit patents for this standard CRT patents, and then they both had sweeps and good CRTs.
Looks like you've got a civilian version of an OS8 there.
What is an OS8?
That's a military oscilloscope from the real early days. All the controls were on top, and it had looked very similar to the one you've got your pointer on right now.
That's
like the civilian version.
That's an Atwater. There's two of those. It's called a TV, what it says, International Television Product Scope Model 511A.
Pocket scope. You had a big pocket.
Yeah.
A big pocket.
Yeah.
They're heavy too.
Anyway, this is an old RCA, just a one inch CRT. And that's about the collection. These oscilloscopes I'm trying to negotiate with the guy in Maine, but he wants me to ship them to him, and it was gonna cost me more than $500 to package them up and have them shipped through UPS. But anyway.
Yeah, shipping oscilloscopes is not cheap. We found at the museum.
Yeah.
Can't pack him up in your car and meet him halfway.
Yeah, there you go. It only cost you $250 to get him meet him halfway.
The guy sent me a commercial license for UPS, and he says, try this and use my phone, and I think you'll get a better price, but anyway. Well, that's what I got. And like I told Pat, I'm not collecting things. I really enjoy talking to you guys. I don't know how much I enjoy talking about all the oscilloscopes. I mean, the radios and stuff, but anyway, I'm interested in moving this collection on.
All right.
And now I don't know how to get back.
Thanks so much.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank you, Dave.
yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay, this is another thing I wanted to show you. I forgot. There's some old 4-pin and 5-pin tubes. And where did it go? Well, I don't know.
There.
Oh, there's the 127
45.
45 RPMs, and there's the phonograph that I test them on. Anyway, that's everything. I'll hang up now.
So you got to point to the green thing at the top of the screen
Oh, okay.
and then say stop sharing.
Oh, there. Stop sharing. Basics.
Maybe it's view options.
There we go.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for putting up with me. I
Oh, thanks for sharing.
didn't want to take all your time.
Let me do a quick share here. I got a little joke. Where is it? I can never. No, that's, huh. I don't know where it went. Oh, maybe, no. I'll have to take a look in the background here and see where it went. I think it went away. Well, never mind. Next time.
So Bruce, thanks so much for sending me the data on the scope
Oh,
from
you
the
bet.
museum.
Okay, I found it. So just found out that my vintage radio is a female. And since I don't have any more room for additional sets, she sadly had all her tubes tied.
Oh, my goodness.
That's funny.
I couldn't resist.
No more accidental radio purchases, huh?
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take
So-
some pictures of Cliff stuff too.
So Dave, you have one more scope, don't you? Little bitty scope.
You're muted, Dave. You're muted.
I shut it off so you won't hear all my clocks dinging.
Oh,
No, I've
Okay.
got 6. I got a 211. I got two 212s. I got a 213. I got a 214, and I got a 221. And I saved them because I was a significant engineer on all of those.
yeah. Pretty cute little scopes.
Yeah.
We didn't see those though.
I don't know whether you can see them sitting on the floor over there. Where are they? There's me. Well, there they are, way down on the floor there. Anyway,
Can't see him.
I've got a real scope out in the garage at 2247 or something, 2245, whatever it is, a nice scope.
Which
100
one?
megahertz.
35, I like mine.
Okay, well, like I say, if we're brought to, I'm gonna go get something to eat.
Thanks for sharing, Dave.
Yeah, looks like we've run out of records here.
We'll see you
Myra,
next.
give away your 555.
It went to the museum last week, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a hell of a thing to get up the steps out here.
Did
but
you have a crew?
yeah, me and my wife were like, this is it, we're
Oh.
gonna do it.
You took them up the steps?
Yeah, the two of us.
Oh, gosh. You should have gotten Pat before that. He has a cart that you can go up the ramp with.
Yeah, well, we had a, dolly on the flat part, but we still had to come up half a flight of stairs from the basement and a full flight of stairs in the yard.
Oh,
So, but we made it, and it's a
Your wife must
monster.
have been motivated.
Yeah, well, we were basically given a 2-hour window. We said, okay, let's go.
yeah, I inventoried it, but I didn't plug it in.
Well, I was afraid to do that. I think you guys may have a procedure for that. I mean, it's been fired up in the last 20 years, but that's all I can say.
The last big one like that I fired up, I basically took the curve tracer and I would hook it up to each filter capacitor at a time. And with the curve tracer, you can jack the voltage up, and without the tubes lit up, why you don't have much load. And so you could slowly reform the capacitors to turn on a little more graceful. Typically they'll take it, but I like to take it easy on some of those big ones like that.
Yeah, I didn't want to deliver you something in a smoking condition. So,
Anyway, thanks very much, Myron.
yeah, it was great. I'm really glad to give it a good home.
Yeah, I wanted to show you guys something and ask you if you've ever seen anything like this before. It's a little piece of furniture, not very heavy, as you can see, I can pick it up. A little table, but it's got a couple of doors. When you open it up, inside there is a radio. And it's an ESPY radio. I know ESPEY. It's just an all-American 5 with 14-volt tubes. What do they call those tubes? They were
The Loctals?
Loctals. Yes, that's it.
So they're actually
If
12
I can show you, I'm going to share my screen here. Which one? This one. I don't know if you can see that. You guys see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it's a standard All-American 5 with 50 volt, 35 volt, 14, 14, and 14. And it's model number,
There it is.
6 something.
6560. 6560. I can't find anything online about it. There's other 65 and then 2 other digits for different configurations, just table radios. But nothing that looks like this, the little piece of furniture.
cabinet.
What was the manufacturer?
SP, ESPEY.
Yeah, I'll bet you the 65 was the model and 60 was the cabinet. I wonder if the other schematics would be the same.
Could be. I think the 5 refers to 5 tubes.
What's an RMA code?
I don't know. Good question. This is
That's going to be the manufacturer.
uh,
RMA code was a manufacturing code.
unfortunately, this is all that's left of what was pasted inside the cabinet.
You can see the list of RMA codes for like 1950. I found those online previously. It was every radio manufacturer that was registered with the Radio Manufacturers Association in 1950. Now, different years, I'm not so sure, but.
Yeah. Unfortunately, a bunch of rats got into the thing and ate a lot of the wiring and this schematic, and it was a real mess. But I got it working.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, rats. We've gotten some stuff at the museum where we've just put back in the dumpster. I mean, wow.
My wife wants to take this little cabinet, and she told me to take all the radio stuff out of there because she wants to use it for some nice storage.
Oh, no.
Hey, Bruce.
Yeah.
You know what rat spells backwards?
No.
Tar, and I don't like that in radios either.
Oh.
Does
Gotta run into
dirty
that,
rats put
yeah.
the tar in the radio?
No,
That's what they used to pop capacitors in.
yep. And
Transformers and inductors and capacitors. And
I talked to a lineman before, and one of their major repairs is squirrel damage on the electrical insulation.
gun owners are another problem. We find a lot of bullet holes in our stuff out there. And one thing we really don't like is bullets and fiber splice cases. That's a bad mix.
what are fiber splice?
Fiber splice cases where we have fiber optic cables, they come in and splice them in a metal case.
Oh, yeah.
Get the bullet just right, it shatters the glass.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a pain in the ass to put them to get back together too.
Yep.
They're really
So many times we have to replace an entire span because the breakage goes back so far. That and glass insulators. I don't know what it is that draws people to shoot glass insulators, but that kind of ruins
Yeah.
our day. Oh, well, how do we get from tar to that?
Are they just target practice? Is that what, just being honest?
Yeah. No, if we could get them to shoot the squirrels.
Isn't that what you do with your old vacuum tubes? Is you take them out and shoot them? Target practice?
Put them out of their misery.
Yeah.
To enjoy seeing people shoot old CRTs. Those were, if you get them in just the right place, they're fun to watch implode as the through the front of the tube.
Oh, absolutely dangerous.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
If you hit the backside, no big deal.
Yeah. It
But
just,
if you hit it dead center and you get that mask moving, holy cripes, you got big pieces of glass that'll fly.
Yeah.
I see the Radio Museum has SB 6541s or something.
Yeah, they don't have
66.
that particular. I found a schematic online that's close enough that I could restore it and make it work.
Yeah, I mean, they're Loctals for sure.
yeah. But those standard tubes. I mean, and it's probably a pretty standard way that they've wired it and put it together, and as a radio. So
Yeah, yep. The rats chewed the cone out of the speaker, so I had to. Actually, what I did was I used a coffee filter and sort of glued it in with rubber cement. It worked pretty good for replacing the cone.
that's impressive.
Yeah.
That got to going out and just acquiring another one.
Yeah, that's hard.
Probably dope that speaker cone too, and that filter. And
Interesting.
I never thought of that. That's clever.
yeah, you could put rubber cement all over coat the paper with it and make it really resilient to hang in there forever.
I don't know if you want to add that much mass to it, though.
Right. Yeah, just patch up the holes with something that won't harden.
You can go, I think there's the radio repair. Are you in Portland?
Oh, no, I'm in Seattle.
No, well, you should be able to contact somebody that does speaker reconing, and they have cone glue.
Yeah,
I've got a bottle of it, and that's like the best stuff. I mean, you can, I really coated it on a,
the guy at JMac actually gave me a small bottle of it.
Yeah,
yeah, he'll sell it too.
To,
I have a,
I don't think he wanted to spare my speaker. I think he just wanted me to take it home and fix it myself. So he gave me the glue.
I think he did the same for me too. He said,
This little rat radio was so awful. I didn't want to spend any time even buying a new 4-inch speaker for it.
well, Gary, give me a holler. I've only got about 25 or 30 of those brand.
There was some reason why this one was special. I think the way it mounted, or the transformer was on there as part of the mounting gear on it. It wasn't like you could just put a generic one in there.
Was it fuel coil or permanent magnet?
Oh, permanent magnet.
Okay.
This is like a 1950s era radio.
Yeah, we had an auction one time. It was held in the rain. I wasn't there, but I asked somebody to bid on some speakers for me, and I think I got 6 brand new 5-inch and about a dozen 4-inch, and I've been kind of using those for quite a while. But if you ever come up shy of 4 or 5 or a 6 or an 8 or a 12, you need a 15 or an 18. I don't have any.
so R5D3, he
Oh yeah.
he sold a whole shitload of tubes to someone. Well, one was a movie production team, and another was a guy that was just using them for target practice.
Ouch.
Yeah.
I remember going in one time. It was hot in the summer. It was about 100 degrees outside, and he made me a deal I couldn't refuse. He says, "I'll sell you 100 tubes for $20.
Uh-huh.
You go get them." And I think I bought about $100 worth that day. I think I drug about 500 tubes home with me.
Oh, my God.
Come in
You
bottle.
said for life.
Well, just added in the 25 or 30,000 I had. So
He was quite a character.
it's an illness. Oh, he was fun. I miss him.
Yeah.
Did you say the post, somebody is looking for octal tubes with all the pins in place, and they don't want the tubes, they just want to reuse the bases?
How the hell do you reuse the base?
Yeah, you got to break
You
this.
get rid of everything else and you put it in solid state components in there and make a solid state replacement rectifier or something like that.
I've ground a few of the bases down and made plugs out of them, but not octals, generally 4-pin, 5, and maybe 6-pin, but I guess I'm gonna have to go get a new button. I have a button hanging up here on the wall that says real radios are made of wood. I'm gonna have to go get another one made that says real tubes glow.
Yeah.
Real radios glow.
Yeah.
I have a hat that says real radios glow in the dark.
Oh, I like that one too.
That's a good hat.
Yeah.
You guys remember Dick Bosch?
Sure.
Dick Bosch, yeah. I finally, when he used to come to our meets, he had this sign that he put out in front of his table on his radios, and it always bugged me. I told him, I said, "Richard, you shouldn't have that up there. That sign belongs on my table." And we laugh about it, but I was really being pretty honest. But the other day he came over and he said, I got to thinking about it, and he says, I don't do radios anymore. He says, "You really ought to have this sign." And I proudly have it glued to one of my cabinets. It says, "All radios have been restored and are in excellent working condition." Not that I ever found one of his radios that had been fully restored and was in really excellent working condition, but I used to tease him about that. But he came over the other day, and he's doing pretty well. And his wife is, she's battling dementia, but she's still around, and he's doing all right. So if anybody's curious how old man Bosch is doing, he's still stubborn as hell and doing all right.
Well, I'm going to sign off, guys. It's
Those of you who didn't know him, you missed a real treat.
Before my
Okay.
time.
think I'm with Larry. I'm gonna bail out too. Everybody have a good evening.
All right.
Thank you.
Catch you all later.
All right. Speaking of
Yeah.
him, we got some lining to do, so I'm gonna jump out of here too, I think.
Yeah, I gotta leave.
Happy New Year to everybody.
Yes, thank you. Happy New
Yeah,
Year.
Happy New Year's, everybody.
Yep, Happy New Year.
Yeah, see everyone. Hey, Franklin, for next Wednesday, what's the difference between a phonograph and a turntable?
I don't think there is one.
Turntable plays one record, a phonograph can play multiples. I don't know.
There you go.
Seriously?
You know, I took it from your list, so. This was your list. So
Whoops.
you tell me.
Yeah, I think a turntable is a phonograph, but a phonograph can be something other than a turntable. You can have a changer.
How about a gramophone?
A turntable won't do record changing. You can't stack records on it, right?
Don't the British call them gramophones? too?
I thought those only played records that won Grammys.
Grammys? That would be a really good gramophone.
Pat, what's the difference between a chicken?
And
Two legs are both the same.
don't know.
Ice cream has no bones.
I asked a chicken one time why he crossed the road and he told me it was none of my business.
Because it was
Both
chicken.
legs are two the same. Something like that.
Hmm.
Sounds like a Boy Scout joke, not a dad joke
Boy Scout.
or a Cub Scout joke. All right, I'm gonna bail too.
All right. Good night,
Take care,
gentlemen.
guys.
Me too. Okay, so a turntable plays one record and a phonograph has a record changer.
There you go.
All right, I agree. That sounds good. I'll see you guys next week.
Yeah.
Oh, and the meeting's
Alright.
this coming Saturday. Hopefully
Saturday.
people will show up.
I won't be there, guys. I'm not going to share this crap with you. Sorry.
Okay.
Is anyone going to be able to bring donuts?
Don't.
No donuts and but you're gonna bring cream?
Hurt.
You're gonna have coffee?
For the coffee?
Hurts donut.
No.
All right, I'll have to do a general now thing to the group and see if anyone can bring donuts.
Maybe I could bake you some cookies.
Bake some cookies.
Oh, that'd be great.
Hey,
Okay,
Pat,
fine on it. I'll bring
Yo.
them Friday.
you're welcome to drop by here and pick up a couple of things off the front porch if you'd like. I have something I bought for Franklin, which is for raffle tickets. And I've got a radio for you.
Ooh, cool.
I can-
Oh, what about line cords and some sheathing?
Yeah, I can do that. What size sheathing do you want?
Well, it's like the standard,
Stuff to cover wires with, or the type that goes, you want the stuff that goes on the AC cords going into the chassis, right?
no, it's the, like the 01.01 little yellow capacitors. They have the solid steel ends on it.
Yeah.
That's a
That's-
sheathing I need for that.
You need sleeving.
Sleeving, yeah.
Yeah, fiberglass sleeving. Yep. How much do you need?
Oh, I don't know, 6 feet, is that too much? 3
Nope.
feet?
You want yellow or black?
Black?
Yep, I've got some 24 gauge and 26 gauge fiberglass sleeving I can put out there for you.
Okay, well, I was thinking maybe, how about next Tuesday? Will you be okay with Stevan and,
I do not know. I am still going uphill. I don't think this is done getting worse.
okay, all right, we'll play it by ear then.
Okay, but I've got all that. And how many line cords do you need? Do you need black ones or cloth ones or?
No, just cheapy, just, I don't know, black, brown, whatever,
Yeah, I got scads of both.
okay.
I think the last time I ordered brown cords, I ordered a dozen. So
Dozen, 144?
I think that was 144. I think God, can't think of his name. Boy, that's sad. My buddy in Naloa, Mike.
Mike,
I think Mike took 44 of them and I kept 100. And then I got 80 cloth ones we bought out of Australia. We bought the last cloth cords he had. And then I've got, other stuff, but black ones, I've got a lot of SPT1, which is a thin wall, black ones that like you like. I'll set a 4 or 5 of them in the bag. Be okay.
sure.
All right.
Okay, appreciate it. I will see you guys Saturday, man.
All right. Let me know if you're going to come by, and I'll put all that stuff out in a bag for you.
Okay. Yeah, I'll probably wait till Tuesday to see how Stevan's feeling and see how you're feeling.
Okay.
Okay. All
Have
right.
you heard from anybody else that's ill other than Mike Savant?
No, when Mike called me the other day, he sounded terrible.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? He called me too. Yeah.
I'm about 3 days behind him. I think the gestation period on this stuff for us was about 3 days. Is he?
Where are you guys getting this?
What was that, Christian?
I said, where'd Mike catch? Or what, does he have this also?
His sister-in-law or something like that.
And Janet came down with it first, and then Mike a couple of days later, and then Mike came over here on Saturday, and we worked on a radio for a few minutes, and I showed up with symptoms on Tuesday.
Yeah, so Mike cannot go get COVID tested. At least that's what he told me, because he can't, he doesn't feel good enough to drive there. And I don't know. He said if somebody could come by and pick up a test and drop it off at his house, that'd be great. But I don't know. I think
I would like that too, because I've got mine came on exactly the way his did. So I probably don't need a test, just need to know the results of his.
Yeah, but I think the trouble is trying to find somebody who has a test.
No.
Yeah, nobody has them, I don't think, available.
No.
Yeah.
I think I heard that by next week there'll be a bunch, and I forget how many millions Oregon got and how many millions that Washington State got, but it's, they got to get them distributed. I know I called Kaiser and they were like, yeah, no. The only place that had them were the hospitals, and they didn't want me going there.
Yep.
All right, well, I'm checking out.
Yeah. Okay, guys. See you Saturday.
Bye, everybody. Saturday.
Not that way, Christian. See you later.
Yeah.
See ya.